Good evening and welcome to the Whiskey Lover Society with me, Chita. And tonight, a little bit of a Japanese whiskey. We Chita single grain Japanese whiskey. And I picked this one up at a duty-free shop in Schiphol. I know it was a little bit expensive, but I was looking through the shop on my way back from Zanzibar. I was hoping that the new airport in Zanzibar was open for business with regards to the duty-free shop. Unfortunately, they are still struggling to open up everything, so there was no stores open. And so on my way back, I stopped at Schiphol in Amsterdam on my way back to Brussels. And I went for a little bit of a walkabout. It happens when you have too much time at the duty-free shops. And I found a small little store, and they had this one up. And I could not bypass it this time, so I've seen it quite often. It is quite entry level. So I paid about 60 euros for a bottle. A little bit expensive for an age statement whiskey. But I was quite intrigued looking at the Chita. Well, if I look at it in my Afrikaans language, it will be Chita, which is definitely not a good name for a bottle. But for me, it's just a child in me waking up. But yeah, the Chita single grain Japanese whiskey. So I'm always a fan of the Japanese whiskies. But before I start, of course, I want to thank all the subscribers. We've reached 600 subscribers. Super excited about that. So if you watch this video, watch until the end. Make up your mind. Maybe you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like and subscribe and help my channel also to grow to the 1,000 and more subscribers, so that I can also get a little bit of a ad revenue from YouTube. And of course that ad revenue can be helpful with regards to children in South Africa, and all proceeds of that will definitely go to them as soon as I hit the 1,000 subscribers. So on to the whiskey. I am a little bit of a what can I say? I'm a little bit crazy about the Japanese whiskey. I love the Miyagikyo. I also did the Nika days. Wasn't not such a big fan in the beginning, but if I look at the bottle standing over there's only so much left in it, so it definitely grew on me. A little bit of a bitter note in the end, but I did like the freshness of the fruitiness of the apple. Absolutely fantastic whiskey. The Nika days, I would also recommend it for as an entry level. The Nika Taketsuru. The Yoshi, Nika Yoshi 12-year-old that I got from Craig's whiskey guide. Oh my word, that was absolutely fantastic whiskey. Of course, out of my price range now. The Nika Yoshi also not a 12, but the no age statement whiskey was also quite pleasant. And I will put a link on all these whiskies so that you can go have a look. I also did the Nika coffee grain. And I also did the Nika coffee malt. Yamazaki 12, oh my word, absolutely fantastic. Today for me, when I looked at the duty-free shop in Holland with the Yamazaki 12, I think it was about 230 euros for a bottle. Of course, there's no way in hell that I'm going to pay that, although I like it. They also had the 18-year-old. I think that was almost 1,000 euros for an 18-year-old Yamazaki. Never tried it. Would love to try it. Yamazaki people. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Also, the Hibiki Harmony was nice. And of course, the Hibiki 21-year-old, absolutely fantastic. Of course, not to be seen again in my bar. Maybe sometimes in the future when I hit the lottery, I will revisit this video and pick up that 18-year-old Yamazaki and a nice bottle of Hibiki 21. So on to tonight's whiskey. And we're looking at the Chita. Or not the Chita, and it is a single grain whiskey from Japan. And I'm just going to take out a little bit of a reading help for an old guy, just to see if there's something that's interesting on the box itself. Now the box, what I do appreciate from the box, is a nice sturdy box. Not a big fan of the opening. It's a little bit clumsy and difficult sometimes to get it open. But on the box itself, not much information. The Chita single grain Japanese whiskey, and the distillery, the Suntory distillery, which is a distiller's reserve, bottled at 43% ABV. And I just want to cover the notes. I'm trying my best not to see the notes. I do have some notes, and maybe I can just show you the notes before I have a look. So there is some notes, tasting notes on it, but I try not to have a look at that. So I give you a little bit of a history. I'm not really interested about the history of the whiskey. Most of the time it is just a lot of bollocks what they are talking about. So I don't really care about the history. If you want to see the history, come by Planet. They are excellent on the history, and they take you back from the beginning of the whiskey, and they take you through the whole process. Love the channel. Mac from Kampai Planet, have a look. Absolutely fantastic. But for me, it's all about the nosing, the tasting, and of course a little bit of a score sometimes. But it's more for me about, do I like it? Now, not everybody, of course, got the same taste, so it might be that I love something and you don't like it. But I think a lot of people that subscribe to my channel do like the same taste as what I have. And of course, I love your comments. If you want to give me a little bit of comment, maybe a suggestion for some future whiskies, please let me know. So the bottle itself, I haven't opened this one. This is going to be a neck pour. But what I did find, most of the Japanese whiskey don't really need a lot of time in the glass. It's a no age statement whiskey. Some of the older whiskies, when you get to the 15, 18, 20 and upwards, you need a little bit of time in the glass just to give it a little bit of an oxidization. So this one, I do like the color. It is natural color. Of course, at 43% ABV, of course, then probably is chill filtration. Information on the bottle itself, non-existing. I do like the Japanese writing. I'm not sure what it's called. I don't even know what it says. Actually, I don't care what it says. I just like the idea of it. And but information on the bottle, not really much. And at the back of the bottle, it gives you a little bit product of Japan, which is a good thing, especially with some of the whiskies that might be sourced from somewhere else. And it bottled at 43% ABV. And that is that. And don't drink it when you're pregnant. Recycle and Suntory. That is all that we have. Of course, we need to open up the bottle. And sometimes it's a little bit difficult with these bottles to see where do you need to start pulling on the label. If I take too long, of course I will do a little bit of editing. I think I just got part of it. Yeah, it wasn't that difficult. Of course, this is a screw top. And I must say I don't really mind if it's a screw top or not. I think sometimes it will last longer, maybe protect the whiskey itself on the inside a little bit longer. So I don't really mind it. So I'm just going to do a small pour. And of course, over time, if there is a big change over time, I might do an update on the whiskey. Maybe to just to give a little bit of details of what is the difference that I found over a little bit of time. But I doubt it very much. So color-wise, yeah, a little bit of a golden color, maybe a 18 karat gold color. Natural color, so quite interesting. On the nose. Cheers. Oh my word, this is nice. Now, most of the Japanese whiskies that I've tried over the last almost 1 year, all had this lightness to it, the sweetness to it, a little floral note to it. This one is absolutely fantastic. The biggest thing that I get initial note is honey. Fresh, light honey note. And when you hit with a little bit of a floral note, something like walking into a apple orchard or a rose garden, you get a lovely sweet fragrances coming from everywhere. Wow, that is really nice. With a little bit of dinging, I also found out that they have a combination of 10 different whiskies to create this one. And I think they are quite spot on with it. If you are not a big whiskey drinker and somebody offered you this one, you are going to love it. Well, you're going to love the nose, the sweetness of it. So there is definitely the sweetness. You get that floral notes coming out, that big honey notes. Then I get a little bit of a vanilla, but it's not overpowering, just a hint of the vanilla at the back. And then I also get a little bit of a fresh fruit note. Reminds me a little bit of apples or a light, not too sweet pear note. And a hint of a banana, strangely enough. Just a hint, not an overly ripe banana, but just a green banana. So when you open it up, it's just a hint of that banana coming out. Also get a little bit of a corn note. A little bit of a sweet corn that you also get on a bourbon. Quite interesting. But of course we need to drink it as well. And I'm quite looking forward to this one. Cheers. That is lovely. There's a sweetness to it. I immediately get a little bit of that honey note, but it quickly disappears. And leave a little bit of a sour note in it, but just a hint of the sour note. Let me just try again. It's light. I also get a little bit of a floral note coming out. Definitely the honeys are there. A hint of a caramel, a light caramel, but not so sweet. I'm a little bit surprised if I look at the nose. And I go to the taste. It felt that it's going to be a little bit sweeter on the taste as well. It is still sweet, but it's not overly sweet. Let me just make sure. It is nice, but definitely I don't think this is something, if you are a big whiskey drinker, and you have tasted all those high-end whiskies, the complex whiskies, I think this one is going to be a little bit flat for you. If you are new to whiskey and you've tried this one for the first time, I think you are going to be very happy with it. The price point at €60, I think is a little bit expensive. My price for this one, I think should be maybe 40, maximum €45. But of course I buy it and try it so that you know what to expect when you buy the whiskey. Not complex, but it's enjoyable, and it's definitely something that I would recommend for somebody that is new to whiskey. And I'm definitely going to finish this bottle probably soon. And of course, I'm going to replace it, but I'm going to look for a little bit of a special price on this one before I buy it again. So, just a last try. Very dangerous one. 43%. I get a little bit of a chocolate note. I didn't expect that one. A little bit of a sweet chocolate note coming up. Did not get any sherry, and there's a little bit of a bitter note coming out, but it's very subtle. It reminds me of a chocolate bitterness, so not a oaky bitterness. And it's quite a short to medium finish, and it quickly asks you to put a little bit more and drink a little bit more. So be careful with this one. Let me know what you think about this one. Is this something that you have tried? Is it something that you would consider buying Japanese whiskey? Which Japanese whiskeys did you enjoy? I did also make a poll on Japanese whiskey. If you want to go look at the free whiskies that I place on the poll. And of course, leave a comment. I got some great comments with some great suggestions that I'm going to look forward to buy and maybe do a review on them. So thank you very much. I'm not going to give a score on this one, but please remember, you came this far. Please remember to like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about Japanese whiskey, and I see you next time. Cheers.